What's going on, guys? It's Matt here, or MJ Feldy, and today I have a very special set to review for you guys. This is one of my all-time favorite UCS sets, the UCS Slave 1. Now, this set was released all the way back in 2015, so I've had it for quite a while now. I got it pretty close to when it was originally released, and luckily I still have the box. This box art is just beautiful. You can see Bespin there in the background with all of the clouds of Cloud City. And unfortunately, my box came a little bit creased. That's just how it came when it got delivered to me, which is a little bit unfortunate, but at least it's not as bad as it could be. And then over here, we've got all of our set information. It is recommended for ages 14 and up, which is pretty different from UCS sets nowadays. Usually they're at least 16 to 18 and up for the age recommendation there. So that's pretty interesting that it's only ages 14 and up. But it is set number 75060. It is, of course, called the Slave 1, and it has 1,996 pieces. And this set originally retailed for $200, which is like nothing compared to what it's going for nowadays. It's like at least 500 bucks sealed in the box, which is just insane. And then up top here, you can see all of the minifigures that you get with this set. You get Boba Fett with arm printing and some very nice leg printing there. You get Han Solo in carbonite. Get a Bespin guard as well as a regular stormtrooper. And this was before they made the new molds that you see now in LEGO sets for the stormtroopers. And then also up top here, you got the dimensions of the set. And this set is actually one of the only minifig scale UCS sets, which is pretty cool to actually have a LEGO set that scales perfectly down to a minifigure. So that's really awesome. On the back of the box, there is another shot of the Slave 1 there landed. And then you can see all of the play features there that we will take a look at later in the review. Okay guys, so first of all, this set is just stunning. Just look at this thing. It is absolutely beautiful. All of the angles, the curves, just everything on this model is achieved so beautifully. The designers did such a fantastic job with this set. And actually, the same designer that designed this set also designed the UCS Millennium Falcon, and I believe the UCS A-Wing, and then the new UCS gunship as well. So that's super awesome. I absolutely love that designer. He has done such a great job on all of his models that he has designed. But starting off at the front, or I guess the bottom of the ship, we have two rotating laser cannons right here in the front. They both move together, which is pretty cool. And that just works with a little gear function on the inside, but you can have them positioned however you want. There's a little bit of piping, greebling there on the side, but the rest of it is pretty much smooth, especially this like front section right here that is all smooth and tiled off. And then on the sides here, there's some tiles intermixed with studs there to give it a nice rough look, like it's battle damaged, like it looks like in the movies. But then down here we have our specification plaque right here, and something that's kind of odd is that like the placement of the actual plaque, you can't really see it that well when it's displayed, but it is nice that you can just take it off and then you can move it to the side of the Slave 1. So it just comes off pretty easily like that. It's just held in by a couple studs there, and then you can take off these pieces right here and then slap the stand back on, and it works pretty well. Also in the designer video, they mentioned that you can switch up the orientation of the stand. So if you want to have it like this so you can see all of the specifications of it like that, you can as well, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, this is the specification plaque. If you want to pause the video and read all of this information, be my guest, but it's got a lot of stuff on there as well, which is pretty cool. I love how all UCS sets come with those plaques. And then also, I didn't even realize, I have two of the technically 5 minifigures that you get in this set just chilling right here on the side of the Technic stand. But I will get to the minifigures in a little bit, but that's just kind of where I put them so they didn't get in the way of anything else and they were just kind of all together with the set. But speaking of the stand, the Slave 1 can come off of the stand just like so. And the thing is pretty solid. Like, you can just literally lift it up like this and it's literally rock solid, nothing's coming off. So really well built. There's a really nice Technic frame on the inside, especially in this section right here to achieve that angle as well. So very well built on the internals of the Slave 1. But this stand right here, literally all it is a bunch of black Technic pieces like you usually get in a UCS set. Okay, so basically these two Technic lift arm pieces on the stand just fit right into the back of the Slave 1, and then it just rests up like that. It's pretty simple how it just rests on there, so it works out pretty well. But then you can also display the Slave 1 in the landed position just like that. But this gives you a better look at all of the shaping around the Slave 1, especially around this like dark red area. And then we have some sticker detailing here from battle damage on both sides there. And then also at the front, we have some more light gray detailing. Yeah, lots of cool detailing there. And then we get this nice little layered tiled section up to the cockpit there. They also use this function in the playsets as well, but the wings are gravity based, so they basically just go wherever you orient the ship. So that's really cool. So if it's landed, they stay like that, and if it's in flight mode, then the wings go like that. So that's really cool. One odd thing, I don't know why they did this. Maybe they just couldn't have figured out the best way to do this, or without it being 100% accurate. But the little seat for Boba Fett in here, you have to like manually move that yourself, which, I mean, it's not a huge deal if you're gonna have this thing on display the majority of the time like I do. But yeah, if you want it in flight mode, you just move it like that. And then if you want it landed, you can just move his seat up like that. And then there is a nice printed control panel there for him. And then he just sits right in there. It's a pretty nice build for the seat there. And then, you know, it can move however you want it positioned. And then also on the inside of the cockpit, there's another blaster for Boba Fett. And then there's also some more control panel detailing on either side there. And then also forgot to mention right here that there's some other sticker detailing, which is pretty cool as well. And then on each side of Boba Fett's Slave 1, you can pull out these little sections right here, revealing some rockets and missiles and all sorts of stuff like that. And then same thing on the other side right here, you just pull this little section out, and then there's some different sorts of missiles and all sorts of stuff in there. So that's a pretty cool function as well. And then, like I said before, the build for especially this long section right here at the top, it was very interesting. I mean, there's basically just like a huge Technic frame on the inside, and then these panels just like sit in place. But the only way that they were able to attach these plates on the side was with these like ball joints, and it kind of leaves each plate kind of loose like this, so you can kind of like wiggle it around a little bit. I don't know if that's just because I built it wrong or something, or if it's just like that. Let me know in the comments down below if you also happen to have this set and you have this issue as well. But I mean, it does look super good, and I mean, it is a display model, so it doesn't really matter that much, but it does wobble a little bit there. Also, there's this door right here that the boarding ramp leads up to, and you can just open that right there. And there's a clip on there that you can attach Han Solo in carbonite to right there. So that's a pretty cool function as well. And then he just clips on right there, right like that. And then you can just shove that door back down and he is in there. Also, if you happen to lose your Han Solo inside of the Slave 1 like that, There's a really cool function on the back of the Slave One. So there's this hatch in the back of the Slave One that you can open up, and then you can just shake out your Han Solo. All right, and then for the minifigures, first up we have Boba Fett. This figure just looks incredible. I think that the same version of this Boba Fett came out in the Master Builder series Cloud City set as well, but he has some very nice arm printing there on the side and also on the torso. He's got lots of battle damage there, and then he also has some very nice leg printing. Even the toes down there are printed, and then he's got his little cape pauldron thing right here. And then if we move that a little bit, you can see some more of that arm printing there, and he's got the mythosaur insignia there for the Mandalorians, which is super sweet. And then he also has a sand green jetpack there to match his helmet, which looks very nice. I kind of wish that they would make a new mold for these jetpacks. I think they could do a way better job, especially like with some printing and stuff on the back there to make it look super accurate to what Boba Fett has in particular. And then his helmet printing is super nice. I think we've been getting the same Boba Fett helmet print all the way since like 2011 or something like that, when that older play scale Slave One came out, but it does look very nice. And then, you know, also he's got that nice face print there. No double-sided face because there's not really a point to have one. But yeah, that is Boba Fett for you, an incredible minifigure. He's also pretty expensive nowadays on eBay and Bricklink. But yeah, on to the next figure. All right, next up, we've got this Stormtrooper here. And this version of the Stormtrooper, I think, was released in 2013 or 2012, around there. But they still had the old mold for the Stormtrooper helmet, but just different printing on it. And then, of course, you got the angry clone face underneath. He's got some nice printing there on the torso and also on the legs as well. And then some back printing, but pretty standard Stormtrooper there. And like I said before, I think this was like the second or third iteration of Stormtrooper helmet molds. But now, of course, we have the dual molded Stormtrooper helmets that look a tad bit oversized in my opinion, but that's the mold that they're using in sets nowadays. And then next we've got this Bespin. Guard here. He's got a nice blue outfit there with the little gold embroidered there, which is very reflective. If you like shine it in the light, it's reflective there. And then he's got just the one face print there with his little blue hat, and then he also comes with a pistol. But yeah, pretty simple figure, but does get the job done. And then next we've got kind of a 2-in-1. So we've got Han Solo right here, which this was before they started using the new hairpiece for Han Solo with sort of like the middle part there. So he just has some standard brown hair, and then he's got two faces. He's got one like he's frozen in carbonite, and then the other one like he just got freed out of the carbonite. So that's pretty cool. And then right here we've got the mold for Han Solo and carbonite. And what's kind of interesting is they still use this mold in newer sets, even though like the hairpiece isn't correct. So I really wish that they would correct that for the newer sets. But I mean, for this set, it's fine because they didn't have that hairpiece yet, but it is a really cool piece to get there. And then you can just fit Han Solo in the back. There's two pegs that his hands can go on. So that's really cool. And then usually the undersides of most Lego sets don't look super great, but this one is super detailed, which I guess they kind of had to make it detailed because the way that the Slave One is sitting on the stand, you know, you can see the back pretty well there if you like turn it around or something like that. But the back engines look incredible, but they use these trans blue pieces right here for the thrust, which looks super good, and they just have all sorts of detailing. But they used a lot of snot techniques sort of around the border of the entire Slave One there, and then, you know, they got this big dish right here, but they used a lot of snot techniques, but then they have a bunch of these trans clear studs right here, so you can set down the Star Destroyer in landing position without, like, you know, screwing any of this up or like knocking any pieces off or anything like that, which is super nice. And I just love the way that the back of the Slave One looks. I mean, there's some pieces you can kind of see in there, like some red pieces, some tan pieces, and all sorts of stuff like that. But I mean, this is literally like the internal structure, like what you're seeing. So I mean, they couldn't really get around that, but man, it just looks great from literally any angle right here. But yeah, guys, that is gonna be it for my Ultimate Collector Series Slave One review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like down below if this is one of your all-time favorite Lego Star Wars sets, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.